Scaling is one of the biggest advantages of cloud computing, but if you don't do it right, it can also be one of the biggest money pits. If your application is struggling under load, you have two choices: scale out or scale up, also known as horizontal versus vertical scaling. But which one should you use and when? Today we're breaking down exactly how AWS scaling works and how to choose the right approach for your workloads. Let's start with the basics. Vertical scaling, or scaling up, means upgrading a single server by adding more CPU, RAM, or storage. Imagine your database is running on a small EC2 instance and it starts slowing down under high traffic. Instead of adding more servers, you just switch to a bigger instance type. More power, more memory, same server. On the other hand, horizontal scaling, or scaling out, means adding more instances instead of upgrading one. Instead of running a giant, expensive server, you spread the load across multiple smaller instances. Think of it like a highway. When traffic gets bad, vertical scaling is like widening a single lane, while horizontal scaling is like adding more lanes. So, when should you scale up versus scale out? Vertical scaling is great for applications that rely on a single node. Things like databases, legacy applications, or workloads that aren't designed for distributed computing. It's easier to manage because you don't need to deal with load balancers or complex distributed architectures. The downside? There's a limit. At some point, you'll hit the biggest instance size AWS offers, and then what? That's where horizontal scaling comes in. If you're running stateless applications like web servers, containerized apps, or microservices, scaling out is the way to go. AWS makes this easy with auto-scaling groups, which automatically add or remove EC2 instances based on demand. The biggest advantage? It's more resilient. If one server goes down, your application keeps running because traffic is spread across multiple machines. But here's the catch: horizontal scaling isn't free. More instances means more complexity. You need to set up load balancers, configure distributed databases, and make sure your application is built to handle multiple servers. If your architecture isn't designed for it, you might end up with more problems than solutions. So, let's talk real-world examples. Vertical scaling is ideal for databases like RDS or single-node applications. If you're running a MySQL or PostgreSQL database and it's struggling under load, upgrading to a larger instance can buy you more time. But if you're dealing with a high-traffic web application, horizontal scaling with an ELB and auto-scaling group is usually the better move. Then there's the hybrid approach. Many companies start with vertical scaling because it's simpler, then transition to horizontal scaling as they grow. AWS services like Aurora handle this automatically by scaling RED replicas horizontally while keeping a single primary database vertically scaled. But here's the part where companies waste money: scaling without monitoring. If you're over-provisioning instances, you're paying for capacity you don't need. If you're under-provisioning, your users are getting a slow, laggy experience. So that's where CloudZero comes in. CloudZero helps teams track scaling costs in real time, so you can see exactly how much you're spending on EC2, auto-scaling groups, and RDS without guessing. At the end of the day, scaling isn't just about performance, it's about cost efficiency. If you scale up too much, you're burning cash on oversized instances. If you scale out without a plan, you're dealing with unnecessary complexity. The key is understanding your workloads and using the right scaling strategy at the right time. So, is your AWS setup scaling efficiently? If you're not sure, check out CloudZero to get real-time cost visibility. And if this breakdown helped clear things up, hit that like button and subscribe for more AWS insights. See you in the next one.